So in today's tutorial, we'll be building a complete sales dashboard from scratch using real data, clean visuals, and formulas. By the end, you will have a polished dashboard you can proudly showcase as a portfolio project. So let's get started. So now we'll start creating our Power BI dashboard. So firstly, we'll go into the Power BI desktop application. It will open up an interface like this. So we'll click on a blank report. So this is where we'll be creating our dashboard. So first we'll go into the get data section and click on text CSV file. And one by one, we'll import the details and orders table. First, we'll import the details table. We'll click on load data and we can see here that the details table has been loaded. Next, we'll load the orders table and both the tables have been loaded here. So now we'll move on to creating our first visual chart. We'll choose the stacked column chart here. We'll click on it and it will provide us a blank chart here in which we'll have to drag and drop our tables. So the first chart that we'll create is on the basis of profit divided in months. So which month has seen the highest profits for the owner, that we'll find out. So for that, firstly, we'll click on the details table here. It will drop down all the columns present in the details table. And what we want is the profit. So we'll drag it and place it on the chart here. Next, we want the order date. So we'll drag it and place it on the chart here. And on what basis do we want it? We do not want it for a year because the data is for a year only. So it will create only a single bar. So we'll cancel out the year. We do not want it for quarters and we do want it for months. So we'll remove the day as well. So now we have a chart here, which we can see is present on the basis of each month. So it contains profit that the owner has earned on the basis of each month. So now we can make this chart a bit more visually appealing. So we'll go into the format visual section here. And what we'll do is, firstly, we'll remove the titles on the X and Y axis here. So what we'll do is go in title here and we'll switch it off. Next, we'll go on the Y axis here and remove the title from here. And in the y-axis we'll also remove the values because we'll place the values on top of each bar. So what we'll do is we'll go on to data labels here and we'll switch it on. As you can see, the values have come on top of each bar. But now what we want to show is that the bars that are in negative should be of another color and the bars in the positive should be of another color. So what we'll do is we'll go into columns here and we'll take up the months for which the bar is in negative. For example, for May, the bar is in negative. So for May, we'll change the color to orange. Similarly, for July, so now we have a contrast between positive and negative profits. And further on, we can also change the background as well. But for that, before that, we'll have to place a background on the whole screen here. So we'll click anywhere on the empty space on the screen and click on format page here and we'll click on canvas background. And we have a few backgrounds here. So we'll use this BG and we'll reduce the transparency to 0. So this background appears here, as we can see, but it is not covering the complete canvas. So we'll again go in canvas background and we'll put the image fit to fit. So now you can see that the image is covering the whole background. Now we'll just format this chart a little bit more so that it blends in with the background. We'll go into general, we go into effects, and we'll change the background color to something a bit off white and we'll increase the transparency to about 85%. Yeah. And we'll also change the visual border here. We'll provide a rounded border to the chart here. So we'll take a color slightly darker than the previous one, and we'll give it a rounding of 17 pixels. Yes. So now it looks good, but we can improve on the color of the data that is written here. So in the general, in the title section, we can keep the data a bit white like this, and we can align it in the center, and we can increase the size as well up to 25, I think. We can keep it 20. Yes, seems perfect. And for the other things, for the data labels here and for the name of the months, we can also change the colors. So we'll go into data labels here. We'll go into the value section here, and we can see the color chosen is gray. We'll change it to white so we can see the labels more clearly. We can even make it bold. And similarly, we'll go into the x-axis here. We'll change the color from gray to white like this. And we can also increase the size like this. Okay. So this is the first chart that we have created. That is for each month, it is showing the profit earned for each month of the year 2018. Similarly, we can create another chart to measure the profit that is earned based on the subcategories that are present in the store. So what we'll do is we'll click on the chart that we have created here. We'll control C and control V. So it will create a copy of this chart. And in this chart, what we want to change here, right here in the visualization section, we do not want to remove the sum of profit from the y-axis. What we want to change is the x-axis. So we'll cross out the order date, and here we'll put in the subcategory. So now you can see that there are a lot of subcategories, but what we want is the most profitable one. So we'll take the first five most profitable subcategories. So what we'll do here is, for you, the interface must be looking like this. So we'll click on the filter section here, and it will open up a section similar to this. And in the subcategories, we'll click on the drop down arrow here, and it will open up a filtering section. So instead of basic filtering, we want the top n items. So we can put in any number. For me, I want top five items that give me the most profit. And on what basis are we filtering out the values? It is on the basis of profit. So we'll drag the profit column from here, and we'll put it here. We'll click on apply filter, and it will provide us the top five items that are the most profitable for me in the shop. Instead of column chart, we can even use a bar chart. So uh, click on the chart that we have created here, and we can change it directly from the visualization tab. So we'll click on the bar chart here, and it has changed the appearance of the chart. Similarly, we could have made this also into a bar chart like this, but I believe this seems a bit nicer. So now that this has been created, we can give the printers column an orange color just to identify it easily as the most profitable subcategory in the store. So we'll go in the visuals category here, we'll click on bars, and we'll choose printers here, and we'll make it orange. Okay, this seems all right. For now, we can keep this aligned right here. Next, we'll be creating a donut chart. So we'll click on the donut chart right here. And what we want to find out is the amount of money spent by people on the basis of the payment mode that is being chosen. So, what is the amount of sales that have been occurring on the basis of the payment mode? Are the customers preferring to pay online? Are they using a credit card or a debit card, or are they choosing cash on delivery? We'll find that out. So, select the amount column from the details table here and drag it in the donut chart. And we also select the payment mode from the details table and drop it here as well. So now that you can see, we have a donut chart ready that shows us the amount of sales occurring based on the payment mode that has been chosen. So we can clearly see that cash on delivery is the most opted while choosing a payment option here. And we can alter the visuals of this chart simply by clicking on a chart previously created, going into the format painter in the top corner and clicking on the newly made chart, and it will apply all the effects of the previous chart here. But we do not want the legend here, and we'll remove the names from the legend here and put it with the percentage sign here. So how will we do that? We'll go into the visualization sector and we'll switch off the legend. And in the data labels here, we can see that the present value is data value and percentage. That is, the data value is being given and the percentage share of the total payments that have been chosen. So instead of that, we can put in category and the percentage total of the whole. So now we can see clearly that COD makes up 35% of the amount of sales that have been occurring. And we can give it a smaller title as well. We'll remove some of, and we'll give it a name, sales by payment mode. Right. So next, what we want to find out is which category is contributing to the highest quantity of orders. So how will we do that? We'll create another donut chart here. We'll click on donut chart here and we'll drag in the quantity section and drop it in the chart. And we'll drag the category section and drop it in the chart. So as you can see that clothing makes up the largest share of quantity of orders, almost 63%. And in order to provide it the same visual effects as the previous donut chart, we'll click on the previously created donut chart, click on Format Painter, and click on the new chart, and it will have all the previously created visual. So now we'll place it here as well. And we'll also change the title and give it quantity by category. I think that's good enough. The next one that we'll be creating is a stacked column chart again to find the names of the customers who have ordered the most from our stores. So we'll select a stacked bar chart from here. We'll drag in the customer name and drop it here. And we want to find the amount of orders that each customer has. So we'll drop it down here. And as you can see, we have a long list of orders from each of the customers, but we want to find only the top five. So we'll do something similar to the one that we did in subcategory here. So we'll go in the filter section here. We'll click on customer name drop down arrow. Instead of basic filtering, we'll choose top N and we'll choose the top five customers on the basis of the amount of orders placed. And we'll click on apply filter. And as you can see, we have top five names of the customers. And now you know the drill. If we want to change the visual effects, we'll click on the previously created chart and click on the new chart, and it will apply all the values of the previous chart. One thing we can do is change the color of the highest buyer, that is Harivansh. We'll change it to orange, and we can also change the title, highest buying customers. So now a last chart remains in which we'll understand which state is contributing to highest amount of orders, which is similar to the customers one. So we'll just click on it and we'll control C and control V. We drag it up, and instead of the customer name, what we want is the state from the orders table. We'll drag it and drop it in the y-axis here, and as you can see, we have the top four. But what you can see in the filter section here is that it's still filtering out on the basis of the customer name. So we'll cancel that out. Now we can see all the states that are present in India, and now we can filter out the top five states from it. So now we'll do the same thing again, and on the basis of the amount, and we'll apply the filter. And as we can see, we have gotten the top 5 states that contribute to the highest sales. We'll place it perfectly in the middle here, and we'll change the color of the top chart, that is Maharashtra, to orange. Now that we have added our data and built the base of our dashboard, let's make it more insightful by showing some key metrics right at the top. We'll use something called cards. These are simple, clean visuals that display one important value at a time. Think of it like mini dashboards, showing things like total profits, total sales, number of orders, etc. So we'll create our first card here, that is the total profit that the owner has earned. So in the card empty chart here, we'll drag the profit column. And as we can see, the total profit earned is 37K. And we can also alter the visual elements of the chart here as well. We'll click on Format Visual, and we'll remove the category label here, and we'll put in a title. So we'll name it Total Profit, right? And we'll center it. We'll also remove the gap between the title and the data element. So in title, we'll go into the spacing one, and we'll remove it to 0. So now there is no space between the card and the title. But what we can do is we can also change the background. So we'll go into effects. We'll change the background to the ones that we have provided to each chart. We'll give the transparency 85. We'll give it a visual border of a darker white, and we'll give it a visual border of 17, rounded 17. And we'll also change the color so that it pops out a bit. And the same thing that we'll do here is for this. So the next card that we can make is the total quantities of articles sold. So we'll just click on the previously created card, Control C, Control V, and instead of sum of profit, we'll remove it and we'll add quantity here. That is sum of quantity. So as you can see that the sum of quantity is 5615, and we'll change the title from here in general title, and we'll change it to total quantity. Okay. We have our second card ready as well. And the last card that we need is the average order value. Average order value tells you how much on an average a customer spends per order. So how will we calculate that? We'll go into the table view section here, and we'll create a new column. And in the query box here, we'll name it AOV, that is average order value. So first we need the amount, and we'll have to divide that by quantity, and we'll press enter. And now we have the average order value for each of these orders. Now it has a lot of decimal places here. So what we can do is in the top section here where you see data type written, instead of decimal numbers, we can make it whole number. And you can see now each of the AOVs are a whole number. Now back on the main report page here, we see an average order value calculation has been created. So what we'll do is click on one of these cards here. We'll copy it, and instead of sum of quantity, we'll put in average order value, and instead of sum of average order, we want an average, right? So here we have it. And if you want to remove the decimal places, we can go into the call out value here, remove the decimal places. We can change it directly, and we can even change the title. So we can make it AOV. All right. Now that we have our key numbers in place, let's make our dashboard interactive. We are going to add slicers. They are like filters that allow us to see data for specific time periods, locations, or categories. For example, what if you only wanted to see sales in quarter 1 or view performance for a specific state like Maharashtra? With slicers, we can do that. So Let's make one. So we'll go in the visualization section here and we'll click on slices, and an empty chart appears, and we'll drag the order date and put it here. Now in the field section here, you can see that it's showing each and every date individually. We do not want that. We want it for every quarter. So we'll go into the data hierarchy and we'll remove here. We'll remove month and we'll remove day. So now we have only 4 quarters here. Now we'll go in the format your visual section. In slicer settings, we'll change it from a vertical list to a tile. And as you can see, we have 4 tiles here. And just to show you how it works, when we click on quarter 1, we have the data for only 3 months, that is January, February, March. We click on quarter 4, we have it for October, November, December, and that is how slices work. And we can change its visuals as well. We can click on any of these charts previously created, click on Format Painter and click on it. And as you can see, it has been formatted. We can even change the color. So we can change the color of these tiles as well. We'll go into the visual section here. I'll just close all of these tabs. And in the values tab, we can go in the background section and choose orange. And we can even change the text color to white to make it more visible, and even increase its size if needed. Now we can also create one more slicer to filter out the data on the basis of states. So we'll create an empty slicer chart here and we'll drag the states and put it here. And in the format your visual setting, we'll go in slicer settings and we'll change it from vertical list to drop down. Right. So now it has changed completely. Now we can do the same thing. We can format the required content. We can also give it a background of orange if needed and text white. And we can also change its background from here. So we'll go into general, into effects. In background, we'll choose this one and we'll change it to 85. And we can also change the border as well. Here in the effects section, in border box, we'll give it a darker shade and 17. So now we have completely prepared our dashboard. Only one thing is left. We want to give it a title as well so that it is clearly understandable what this dashboard is about. So this is for Raj Sales Dashboard, and we'll just give it this a font size of 40 is preferred. We'll just place it here like this. We'll just change the background of this as well and give it 85, and we'll change the text color from here to white. And that's done. We have successfully created our first sales dashboard in Power BI, and I'll show you also how it works. So we'll click on quarter 1. So as you can see, we can see the sales data for the months of January, February, and March. And if in quarter 1 itself we want to see how Maharashtra state has performed, we can see that as well, or Nagaland, or Sikkim. And if you want to see 2 or more states together, what we can do is click on control and click on the other state and other state and other state, and it will continue to add up. And click on any of these to unselect all of them. So yeah, this is how you can create your own dashboards as well. You can alter the data any which way you want, read a little bit more into the table view, and create your own charts, your own insights. Now that you have built this dashboard, don't stop just there. Add it to your resume or LinkedIn under projects or portfolio with something like this. Built a dynamic sales dashboard in Power BI using Excel datasets. Implemented visualization to track key metrics like total sales, profit, and AOV. Added interactive slicers for filtering by state and quarter. enabling meaningful data-driven insights. Let's also take a quick look at the most valuable insights we gained from this dashboard and what actions a business could take from them. As we can see, clothing is dominating sales volume, and maybe it's time to launch more seasonal collections or bundle offers here. Cash on delivery is still the top payment method. Perhaps there's room to push digital modes with better discounts. Maharashtra is leading in customer purchases, so let's double down on marketing in that region. And as we can see, Harivansh is the top customer, so we can identify the top customers and provide them better discounts on sales to encourage repeat purchases. I've even created this step-by-step visual guide that breaks down every single chart, calculation, and setting we use to build this dashboard. From the kind of charts to use to how to get slices and even the formula for calculating AOV. It's all there. You can pause the video, take a screenshot, or check the description for the link. Thank you for watching.